What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 3.04% pre-market, and there was a couple of things coming out, but I think today is just more of a general recovery, although you do have shorts very doubtful. Already they are increasing 4.2 million shares, bringing the grand total to 152.86 million shares overall are being shorted. 11.45% of the free float is being shorted in general, but NIO is a very frustrating stock. So for instance, yesterday we did see Li, which announced the all-electric SUV, go up like, what was it, 10-15%, something absolutely insane. NIO, through obviously Onvo, does unveil the same thing the week prior, and it goes up 3-4%, eventually closes in the red. So NIO is just one very manipulated stock. And just to compare NIO and Li based on the short interest, just to give you an overview of that, very rarely, I guess, compare and contrast, but Li short interest is 5.48%, and right now pre-market shorts are increasing around 5,000 shares. So definitely it's night and day difference, and this is why NIO does get very manipulated. The only thing that has really come out, so no official news from NIO, no SEC filings, no data coming from China either, or the States today. So it is just going to be more of a technical driven day, and in NIO's case that's somewhat good. But the only thing that kind of came out was this. So them opening the first battery swap station in the UAE. So this kind of came on schedule. It was anticipated for the end of this month, and with today being the 26th, they hit their mark. So that's a good thing. I think the market really cares about NIO hitting all their essential deadlines, their targets that they give themselves. So again, I think this is a good thing, expanding the infrastructure. As I've mentioned though, on the flip side, expanding all of this is going to cost some money, so just kind of be aware of that. But aside from all of that though, with that $4.40 right below this pivot point, so $4.41 will be a key point to once again get over early on in the day if you're going to see any sort of meaningful recovery. On the actual chart itself, that 50-day moving average is sitting at $4.35. So that's going to be a key level to really close above today. Flip side, you have that ALMA at 436. That 50 or that 100 and 200-day moving averages at 475 and 478. So very tight knit there. So NIO just needs to get above and stay above those points to have a nice continued run. And if you think about it, NIO's actually been holding above that 50-day moving average despite the massive bloodbath that's been happening in the market. And a good chunk of NIO's daily volume, I think it's anywhere from like sometimes 30 to 60% of the daily volume, a lot of that comes from algorithmic trading, which feeds off of the American data points. So I think all in all, NIO is not doing all that bad. I get it. It's a very frustrating stock, and a lot of people do believe that it should be at 5, 6, or even higher than that. But it's just, like I mentioned, very heavily manipulated. Based on the options for today, you're seeing a good consensus for it to be roughly around that $5 range once again, and then flip side, $4 for the bears. So that hasn't really changed all that much. And even looking forward into the following weeks, it's saying the basic same thing. So their earnings should be coming out historically. If we kind of go over here, I saw one comment saying that it's usually end of March. That's not necessarily true. If we look back at the beginning of 2024, it was on March the 5th. One prior to that was on March the 1st. And then way back in 2022, maybe that's what they're thinking of, it was March the 24th. So maybe that's where they're getting at for this, but historically it is at the beginning of March. So this week, as I've estimated, I do feel like they will be announcing the date of their earnings, which will be pretty much right around the corner, and most likely will be the next big catalyst aside from the February numbers. So let me know your general thoughts on shorts doubling down. Once again, analyzing, even though essentially NIO is green so far, whenever we've seen shorts double down to this extent, They usually hit it hard once the market does open, but what do I know, right? You do whatever floats your boat. Let me know your general thoughts on NIO. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? When, like, do you think that there's going to be another catalyst aside from their earnings and the February numbers that could really push NIO higher? Or do you think it's just at the mercy of pretty much the market? So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then depending on some of the data, if there is some big developments that happens, or if they announce their earnings, I'll give you some estimates. I'll do a PM video again if necessary. So with all that, hopefully everyone has a kick-ass day, make a lot of money on whatever floats your boat, whatever stocks you're trading or investing in. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.